What is Making Change Work TRANSIST? What is MCW TRANSIST? Well, we are a management consultancy that is offering a professional service, a professional solution to our clients. It just happens that when we deliver it, it is being delivered by people who are ex-military personnel. Okay? They can have come from any part of the armed forces. Okay? They don't have to have been in the Army, Navy, or even the RAF. Okay? In fact, we've got people from the US Army looking to come through this process as well. Okay? The offer and the reason why this is a professional service rather than a commodity of taking a soldier as a recruitment consultancy would do and placing them with a client is the amount of support, the amount of coaching, the amount of mentoring, and probably most importantly, the amount of risk management that we put in to the work that that ex-military soldier does on the client site. So therefore, our client is able to buy an end solution that is completely risk assured. The way we do that is, again, not just by placing the commodity of an ex-soldier. Okay, we are arming these guys with a whole array of tools and techniques. Now, an awful lot of the work that the guys are going to be placed in is going to be in project and program and change management. So they will get armed with exactly the same tools and techniques and methodologies as their counterpart would on a different client site. And this is really important because what the soldiers then learn to do is to operate under our brand as a management consultancy. Okay? It's really important also for our clients because if we have 2 or 3 people placed on the same client site, the client is able to see that the reporting is done in exactly the same way, the stakeholder management is done in exactly the same way. So those are the tools and techniques. We also are supported by an array of partners. Now these partners are Making Change Work associates. They're associate businesses. These are companies who have got their own intellectual property but are very, very aligned to what MCW does. So, for example, we've got companies that specialise in project management methodologies. We've got a company that specialises in benefit realisation software and methodologies. Okay, so our clients are able to reap the benefits of all of these bits of intellectual property as well as our soldiers being learned how to do those things themselves. And the people, well, evidently, the reason we're doing this is we passionately believe that the skills and the aptitudes and the attributes that the ex-military people bring is second to none, and that's why we're very, very proud and keen to have these guys working under our brand. Okay? And then there's a complete set of values that we bring. There is a way that we work that we want to share with our clients and with the people who work with us. And we would feel that we're a very values-driven organisation. And that is perhaps the key part to what our brand is all about. So this is a proposition that our clients get. And I was hoping that you'll all see that this is far greater than what they would get if they just hired one person off the street from a recruitment consultancy. So I mentioned that we work in partnership with other organisations. These are just some of them. These are the key ones. But they're the ones that all bring their own intellectual property to bear, their own ways of working. But when they're on client site with us, it is all bundled up under the Making Change Work TRANSIST brand. So our end client gets the benefit of all of these organisations and all of these tools and techniques, but they don't have to deal with 6 or 7 organisations. Okay, they've only got one point of contact, one account manager, basically. You'll see on the right-hand side the 3 charities that we support as well. And these we'll be talking about, and they'll actually be talking themselves about what their charities are slightly later on. So my view of why this is such an attractive proposition is that, as the title slide here says, everybody is a winner. Okay? And there are at least 4 different categories of people who benefit from what it is that we're doing. If we start at the top left-hand corner, this is the obvious place. The operation was set up to start with to help guys who wanted to become management consultants and might have left the military, might have knocked on the door of some of the big consultancies, and then found that they didn't get in. There was something that was getting in the way of them getting hired. Okay? So the first people who benefit from this is the guys who are leaving the military. They get an opportunity to see whether this really is a career that is great for them and that they're cut out for in a safe environment, in an environment where they don't have to sink or swim. Okay? There will be no sinking, because that is what we do in the role of mentoring and hand-holding and risk assuring. Okay? As part of their engagement with us, we will take them on to work with us for a period of between a year and 18 months. And during the end of that, or by the end of that period, they will have between 2 and 3 client portfolio assessments and roles that they can put on their CVs, so that they are then in a position to be able to go to a client and say, I'm not an ex-soldier who's got potential to do this. I am now a change manager who's got 3 live clients on my background, and it just happened in some time in the distant past, I was a soldier. Okay, and that is a huge difference in helping guys get their next roles. During their period with us as well, they will also get about 20-odd days worth of training in addition to the stuff that they'll do on client site. And that'll be ensuring that every one of them becomes an accredited coach, will probably become a practitioner of NLP, will learn to facilitate all of Making Change Work's workshops and facilitations, and anything else that is specifically needed. That might be, if they're going to work in an investment bank on a project, we will give them some specific investment bank training. If they're going to work in a local authority, we will give them a few days training understanding what is the difference between working with members and officers and other stakeholders that a council might have, so that everybody's prepared for that engagement that they go on. Our clients get a great proposition because they're getting all of that, everything that I've spent the last few minutes talking about, but they're getting it at a price that is a fraction of what they would normally charge or be charged by a top management consultancy. Okay, and this is the main value proposition for the client. They are getting a great service delivered by really good guys that is completely risk managed and risk assured, and it's costing them nothing more than they would have paid anyway. They've already put the budget aside. They already knew they needed to hire a project manager or a change manager or a program manager when they did budgets in April. That money is aside. There's no extra cost to the client to do this. Okay. Making change work, down bottom right-hand corner. Okay, we gain out of this in a number of ways. The first way is this is not a charity. We're not a charity. We support charities. We see ourselves as a very socially responsible organisation, okay? But we do make money out of this. There is a differentiation or differential between what our clients pay us and what we pay our soldiers. And that's so that we can pay our other MCW associates to mentor, handheld, risk assure, and provide all of that work I was talking about, and so that we can also provide all the training that we've been referring to also. And then down bottom right-hand corner here, well, for me, bottom left-hand corner for yourselves, we've got our charities that we support. Now, we've committed to donating 10% of our earnings to military charities. And again, 3 of them are in the room today who are going to talk about what that would mean for them and what their charities are all about. Now, we do this because we think it's a good thing to do. The added value, and this is why this becomes a really virtual circle, is that our clients are able also to tap into that corporate social responsibility. So our clients are able to say that they have helped X charity, one of the 3 charities we're talking about, by just engaging us. They don't have to physically put any extra money in their pocket, because by engaging us, our charities get the money that we're donating. So at the end of the time with us, the ex-military guys who are on the TRANSIST program have a number of options as to what they can go and do. They could come and work for Making Change Work as an associate. And as many of you in the room know who are associates, that does not mean getting engaged by us 200 days a year, because that's not how associateships work. but what it does mean is that you will be qualified to be able to come and run a workshop for us if we've got the demand for that workshop to be run. You could go off and join a specialist consultancy. You could go and join a project management consultancy. You could go and join the PAs, the Deloittes, the PwCs, if that's what you want. Because one of the things that you would have learnt over the year with us is how to do that account management, how to do the on-selling and the upselling that those major consultancies will expect of you. You could stay with Transist. You could actually think that this is a fantastic thing and a great thing to do, and you'd want to spend another year with us, or maybe another year after that. And that's absolutely an option. And then the other benefit is that because we're not a recruitment consultancy, we say to our clients, if you really like the person who's with us, then you can have them. They can come and work for you, and we will not charge any of these 30% finder's fees, the 15% of revenue fees, all of that. The client can have the person from the Transist program at no additional cost, assuming that both parties want to do that, obviously. And then the final option, well, it's not actually the final option, but the next option would be to set up their own business. Okay? Now, it might also be that having spent a year with us and having spent a year working in either local government or investment banking, that people realise, actually, this isn't what I want to do. And it may be they want to go and do something completely different. Okay? And that's another learning and a great thing to learn in a safe environment rather than when you're with a client who's expecting you to be there for the rest of your lives.